You guys know what time it is. Episode 60 of Setup Wars Potato Edition. Now normally I would put on my douchebag hat and I would bash on some of the worst setup submissions that I received on the show. But this is Techsaurus and you guys know how we do. I like to change things up a bit and add a new element if I can to kind of spice things up. So this is Setup Wars episode 60 Potato Edition with a hint of vodka. So I'm basically going to take one shot of vodka before I look at each setup. So I think that's a total of 5 shots. And just a reminder, you guys, I'm not a heavy drinker at all. I only drink at special occasions like birthdays and like Christmas parties and stuff like that. So I'm very lightweight when it comes to alcohol. So this video is either going to be a complete disaster or it's going to be an interesting one. So it's probably going to be a disaster. And just like always, the person with the worst setup will receive $100, and there will be a straw polling down below, so make sure you guys vote at the end of this episode. But ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, never pay full price for games ever again, guys. G2A offers the cheapest CD keys you can find anywhere. Check them out by clicking on the link below. Alright, so the 5 victims for this episode are Maurice, Calum, Journey, John, and Unise. I'm so sorry. And just to prove to you guys that this is an actual bottle of vodka, it's still sealed, and you guys will hear me crack it open. So, to start off the show, I will take one shot with my Canada shot glass. I swear, it's just such a bad idea. There we go. Oh God. Alright, let's just get this over with. Alright, so I'm going to start off with John's setup, and it looks like we have a triple monitor setup with an iMac in the middle. It looks like the keyboard is from Dell, and that is a very strange looking mouse, which I'm not sure where exactly it's from, but there's a lot of crap on the desk. Honestly, sometimes it's not even about the setup, but what's around it that really bothers me. I mean, this guy looks like he is a very messy person. Is that a trash can next to his desk? So it looks like he does voiceovers, maybe he has a YouTube channel or something, because there is a mic hooked up to a boom arm. Cable management alone is atrocious, and it doesn't look like John has any organization skills, that's for sure. In one of his drawers he has a random power strip just laying there that's not connected to anything, and then we have a set of floppy disks, or floppy drives, I don't even know what they're called at this point, which explains the ancient Mac way over there in the corner. Honestly, I don't even know what to recommend at this point. This setup is so far gone that it is beyond repair. Honestly, there's just so many wires to work with. There's some cables running up to the ceiling, and there's some against the walls. I mean, it's just a complete disaster. Seriously though, those floppy drives. So yeah, I think I've had enough for one setup. Thank you, John, for entering. Let's go ahead and move on to the next setup. But first, we need to take our second shot. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like 10% now. I'm pretty good. I don't even know how people drink this straight without any tracers. Honestly, I can't do it. Alright, I need to hurry and finish this. This is not gonna end well. Alright, Maurice is next up. So we have a Ayama ProLite monitor, Genesis RX 55 gaming keyboard, Speedlink Decus gaming mouse, and a Plantronics GameCon headset. The setup is actually not that bad. Wait, no. I take that back. There's just so many random stuff on the floor. Why do people do this constantly? And the cable management is, I don't even know what to say. Is that a loose plug just lying on the floor right there? What is that even connected to? It looks like Maurice either has a collection of speakers or he basically hoards them. I don't know what they're doing on the side of his setup, but they definitely don't belong there. I'm curious what he has in his PC though. So it looks like we have an FX 4100 and a Sapphire R9 390. Not bad at all. I just wish your setup was as good as your PC. Again, I'm not sure what those boxes are doing on top of your PC, and there just seems to be so many things lying around on your desk. There's no real place to store them, and there is definitely no coordination. I mean, you have a pair of gloves on your PS3, for God's sake. I don't know what else to say, Maurice, but thank you for entering, and let's move on to Calum's setup. This one wasn't that bad actually. I think after the second one it goes down smooth. So Calum is next up with some sort of a dual monitor setup. We have a 19-inch HP monitor paired with the Technica Smart TV, and for the keyboard we have a Mad Catz V5 and a Staples optical mouse. Calum bought a mouse from Staples. I don't even know what to say. So the first thing I noticed is his mic setup. We have a Logitech Guitar Hero World Tour microphone embedded between a set of pens. I gotta say, that is pretty creative. But what the hell is that clay stuff next to it? That seems pretty gross. Come to think of it, that actually doesn't even look like a desk. It looks like some sort of a drawer or a nightstand, because that monitor on the left is definitely about to fall off. I honestly don't see how you can even game on this, let alone do any work. And of course, the cable management is completely devastating. There's so many wires everywhere, and we have a random set of CDs way on the bottom, which you probably forgot about. The PC that's magically powering the setup has an FX 4300 and a GTX 750 Ti. I mean, I get that you have a small surface to work with, but why do you have extra stuff on there anyways, like those note cards or a random screwdriver? I mean, those can easily be stored somewhere else. Honestly, the biggest recommendation I can give you is to get a bigger desk. That way you have a much larger surface to work with. And for the cable management, I would buy an OmniMount cable sleeve and route those cables through, and maybe even pick up a cable box to hide the power strip in. But overall, not the worst setup I've seen on the worst setup edition of Setup Wars. Thank you, Calum, for entering Setup Wars. Alright, so moving on to Unisa's setup, we have, what in the actual f*** is this? It looks like there's a printer on top of a PC case. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is something I've never seen on the show before. So we have a 19-inch AOC monitor, an A4 Tech Natural A keyboard, and a crappy Logitech M105 mouse on top of a Fellows mouse pad. I gotta hand it to Unisa though. I mean, for such a small surface area to work with, he definitely made it work. I mean, he put a printer on top of his PC, and then he put his phone on top of the printer. I mean, this is someone who's definitely good at Jenga. So on the right side of his setup, we have a Rubik's Cube that's solved. We also have a wireless Bluetooth speaker, looks like, and also a set of speakers in the back of his monitor. Putting the speakers together like this kind of defeats the purpose, so I would definitely move one of those and maybe even put it on the other side, or better yet, stack it on top of the printer. And of course, cable management is atrocious. I honestly don't even know how it got this bad. If I were to recommend a few things, I would definitely say, first off, get a better desk, because this one looks like it's about to fall apart. And also a new chair, because it looks like your dog ate half of that. I don't know if I should be thankful or upset that you didn't show me the inside of your PC, but nonetheless, thank you, Unisa, for entering Setup Wars. If you made it this far, you guys are good. What? So bad. I can't do another shot. I can't. So last but not least, we have Journey with a single monitor setup. We have a Dell 17-inch flat panel, a Crossfire Alua gaming combo for the keyboard and mouse, and we have a Turtle Beach PX21 headphones, or headset I should say. Honestly, just by glancing at the setup, it looks like this is the best one out of the oh, nope, take that back. We also have a DeLorean made out of Legos and a pretty cool set from Game of Thrones. It appears that Journey is a black belt, or at least I think he's a black belt, and by the looks of the awards and certificates on the wall, he's also very educated. So hopefully you don't find me and do some bad things to me, because I apologize, I'm not doing this sober, and please forgive me. So on the left side of his setup is a giant TCL TV, which looks like it's hooked up to the PC as well as the PS3. And you know what? That surface looks very dirty. You need to dust that. Did you seriously leave a random tag for your clothes on the desk there? It's one thing to have a crappy setup because you're on a budget, but it's also another thing not to clean the damn area before taking pictures. This entire desk is full of dust and dirt, and look at the damn ground. It's completely filthy. When's the last time you actually vacuumed the place? And lastly, the PC that's powering the setup has a GeForce GTX 960 and an AMD FX 6100. I do like some of the stuff that's organized. I mean, you have a headphone anchor against the wall, and you have a nice rack for your karate belts or whatever you call them. But overall, I mean, just the cleanliness of your setup is a complete disaster, and cable management definitely needs a lot of work. So I would definitely recommend watching my cable management video for some tips. I would also strongly advise investing in a vacuum cleaner. But ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this episode of Setup Wars. I'm about to pass out. Seriously, Jesus Christ. Drop your comments. Actually, no. Click on the straw poll link down below and vote on who you think has the worst desk setup out of this episode, and that person will win $100. Anyways, yeah, if you enjoyed Drunk Edition, Potato Edition of Setup Wars, leave a like. I don't know, comment down below if you want to see another episode. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Honestly, I'm like blacking out, but my head is freaking sweating. Jesus. Yeah, vote, and I will see you guys in the next video. Jesus. I am seriously freaking dizzy right now. Holy shit.